Did you know that for almost 20 years, the 8-liter W16 engine has propelled all Bugatti's hypersports cars? From Veyron to Chiron, the iconic engine is a true engineering marvel and the only 16-cylinder engine ever used in a vehicle. Sadly, with the mass transition of the automobile industry to hybrid and all-electric powertrains, the automaker has decided to pay its last homage to the all-powerful W16 engine through the all-new Bugatti Mistral. Produced by Bugatti Rimac, as the era of the W16 comes to an end with the Mistral, we decided to pay a tribute to one of the most impressive powertrains ever made. So stay tuned as we look back at the development and evolution of the W16 up to the point of the Mistral. Bugatti Rimac is a vehicle company based in Croatia that designs and manufactures the Bugatti and Rimac car brands. The two names were merged as a result of Porsche's economic decision to hand up control of Bugatti to Mate Rimac in exchange for a larger stake in Rimac Group, which includes Rimac Technology, a company that produces batteries and powertrains. Bugatti Rimac unveiled its first joint car, a Bugatti W16 Mistral, earlier this fall. The Mistral will be a roadster powered by the 8-liter W16 engine, producing 1,600 horsepower and 1,600 Newton-meters of torque. It's important not just because it's the first car produced by the collaboration, but because it marks the final road-going appearance of the W16 engine that has come to characterize every Bugatti since the Veyron in 2005. All car enthusiasts are aware of how important this engine has been to the legacy of the Bugatti vehicles. However, you may be surprised to learn that this engine has not been exclusively used to power Bugattis. The engine has also powered several Bentley and Audi vehicles, which are two other brands owned by Volkswagen. However, unlike the Bugatti, the engine wasn't used in every production vehicle, but in concept cars such as the Audi Rosemeyer. The design of the W engine itself has long been a marvel of engineering. The engines are produced in a variety of configurations with various numbers of cylinders to distinguish them, which include the W3, W6, W8, W12, W16, W18, W24, and W30 engines. However, the Bugatti W16 engine was the first and to date, the only W16 engine in production worldwide. Although, to be more accurate, the Bugatti's W16 engine could be more appropriately referred to as WR16. This is due to it being a product of combining two VR8 engines with a 15-degree angle between the cylinder banks, with each row of the engine's 4 rows of cylinders having 4 cylinders. The WR16 had an edge over the then available engine designs thanks to its compact size, large displacement, and smooth power delivery. Its compact size conquered the challenge of fitting 16 cylinders into a single block, while its large displacement meant that the 8-liter engine in the Bugatti W16 can produce a significant amount of power, ranging from 1,000 to 1,200 horsepower. Finally, its smooth power delivery was ensured by the fact that the engine could fire a cylinder every 45 degrees, which gave the vehicle continuously smoother power and improved driving performance. Per contra, as with every glowing advantage, came a few drawbacks to the design. These drawbacks include how costly it was due to its pricey components, the astonishing complexity of its design that gave it such astonishing results, and the weight of the engine, which is about 400 kilograms. The W16 engine is built in a separate chamber at the Volkswagen engine facility, set aside just for that purpose. The 3,712 parts of the engine are precisely assembled manually by 2 experts over 6 days. The engine has 16 cylinders, 64 valves, 4 turbos, and many other high-end, pricey components, which makes it cost at least between $1.7 million and $3 million to buy a car with this engine. The inception of the W16 into the industry as a then icon of superior performance was first cemented in the Bugatti Veyron 16.4. The company changed the game completely when it released the first technical specifications for the engine in 2005. Capable of 8 liters worth of displacement and 1,001 PS, never before had a production vehicle featured an engine that was so potent that it could cruise as easily as it could break acceleration records. The Veyron 16.4 could accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 2.5 seconds and could reach a top speed of more than 400 kilometers per hour. This unmatched power output at the time made it the first hypersports car in the world and created an entirely new class of automobiles. In 2016, Bugatti followed up this pace of excellence when it unveiled the Chiron and again succeeded in the unexpected. The Chiron presented the engineers with the challenge of creating a follow-up model that was equally sophisticated, but even more opulent and powerful. They once again pushed the limits of what is technically possible to make the W16 more potent, quiet, and refined. The results? As with the Veyron, power levels once thought to be unattainable in a road car were surpassed by around 50% in the Chiron. And from this pedigree came the Mistral. Despite being a brand new model, the Mistral looks a lot like its Chiron cousin. However, the Mistral is the first production roadster based on the Chiron platform. In fact, according to Bugatti Rimac, CEO of Bugatti Rimac, the company decided to create the Mistral Roadster for the final road-going appearance of Bugatti's legendary W16 engine that has dominated the race for automotive speed for 17 years. The Mistral takes its name from a wind that originates in the Rhone River Valley and blows along the Côte d'Azur in southern France, which is appropriate given that one would anticipate a roadster with Chiron levels of performance to be somewhat windy. The Mistral's open-topped appearance was re-engineered and reshaped from that of the Chiron to create a more rounded silhouette without compromising performance. The vehicle is seen as a watershed moment in the Bugatti story, with color schemes that pay homage to the black and yellow hues that Ettore Bugatti, the company's founder, used on some of his vehicles. Its black paint and truffle brown colors were inspired by the legendary Bugatti Type 57 Roadster Grand Raid of 1935. Of course, the beauty of the Mistral goes beyond appearance, and it doesn't mess around when it comes to performance. The vehicle uses Chiron Super Sport's 1600 PS W16, the most potent variant of the long-serving engine. Bugatti has made no secret of its desire for the Mistral to hold the record for the fastest roadster in the world. And although we don't have the exact numbers, estimates reveal that it can go from 0 to 62 miles per hour in less than 3 seconds, with a top speed of no less than 260 miles per hour. The 16.4-liter quad-turbocharged engine in the W16 Mistral produces 1,600 horsepower, the same amount as the Chiron Super Sport. However, a major design change it has from the Chiron is that the oil cooler intakes for the W16 engine have been split from the engine air intake. The intakes are now housed on top of the vehicle, behind the driver and their fortunate passenger. The roof-mounted intakes are reminiscent of those found on the Type 57 Roadster Grand Raid and the open-topped Veyron 16.4 Grand Sport, which also has air intakes fitted on top. The Mistral's interior is also similar to that of the Chiron, except for a few new details. An example is the gear shifter, which, whilst still made from a solid block of aluminum, now has a wood and amber insert with a sculpture of Rembrandt Bugatti's well-known dancing elephant motif inside. When it comes to production, there will be few more Mistrals than other Bugatti vehicles, such as the Divos or 110, and undoubtedly more than the lone La Voiture Noire. However, with only 99 units planned at a cool 5 million euros pre-taxes each, it is of course still a very exclusive vehicle. Deliveries are anticipated to start in 2024, and despite the slightly increased production units, the vehicles were all pre-sold before the Mistral was even made public. The vehicle marks the end of a chapter, as even small V4 engines are viewed as a source of pollution, and electric vehicles are the way of the future. However, the game may not be completely over for the superpower engine. It has served Bugatti to power its cars and create such a prestigious brand name that it is impossible to imagine that the automaker won't reimagine future opportunities for the W16. What are your thoughts on the outgoing W16 engine? And do you think Bugatti will make an electric reboot version of the engine? Also, if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our channel for more awesome content.